Next, we have encryption policy or cryptographic policy. Document control page with document ID. We have related documents, confidentiality statement, and there are the list of contents. So we see for all encryption. So we see encryption cycle, encryption requirements, what could be the key management, how we encrypt data at rest, data in transit, what are the different cryptographic algorithms we use. So there are algorithms which might be blacklisted in some of the countries. There might be some algorithms which are weak. So depending on the strength and the regulatory requirements, we select the algorithms. Encryption for third-party service and cloud providers, we see for mobile devices and remote access. Encryption for sensitive data. So last policy we discussed on backups, so how we encrypt the backups. Encryption for emails and file transfers. Encryption for cloud services and infra. So we endpoint protection. So all these topics. So encryption for development and testing environments. And encryption for VPNs. So these are some of the things we see, what kind of encryption we are looking at. So the objective, so we have this encryption policy for as a guidelines to use encryption technologies to protect our company data and resources. And this is the purpose of policy. So we have confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. Apart from CIA triad, we have authenticity as well here. So data and information assets are protected against attacks over these factors. And ensuring compliance with applicable laws, regulation, and industry standards. So as we are doing for SOC2, it's including SOC2. And these are some of the other requirements, what we are trying to accomplish by defining this encryption policy. So roles and responsibilities, this is generic for mostly all of the policies. So here we have some of as a new one. So security team will provide guidance and support to the employees on encryption related matters. And they review the encryption technologies, algorithms, and key management process. Also for employees and contractors, they protect the encryption keys. So we have encryption keys and sensitive data. So it's the responsibility of employee to protect the encryption keys. And there are some different responsibilities here as for others. We have defined some other policies, right? So from there we have some kind of other requirements so that we have discussed here. You can take a look. From scope, this applies to all individuals, employees, contractors, as well as the information assets. So it may be data stored on servers, database, or storage system, data transmitted over network, which we call as data in transit, and this is data at rest. Data stored on mobile devices or removable media and endpoint devices. So this is a separate topic. Encryption keys and key management process. So this is the encryption requirements. So for data at rest, okay, so we follow these algorithms. We have full disk encryption with AES 256 at least minimum. So we may have AES 128, 128 bit. So we don't use that weaker algorithms. We minimum should use AES 256. For database and storage encryption, these are the requirements. For backup encryption, again, and it's a requirement. So these are some of the stronger algorithms we should use. We may have some kind of central storage like we have for blacklisted passwords. We can have a blacklisted encryption algorithms. So algorithms that are weak, we place all the algorithms there. Okay. So the key management, encryption keys for data at rest must be securely managed and protected right throughout its life cycle. Okay. So that's why we have this key management in place here. So data in transit, secure network protocols. So we use RSA 2048. Now VPN. So for VPN also for remote access. we have appropriate encryption controls. For email encryption, so sensitive or confidential data transmitted via email, it should be encrypted. Now, file transfer encryption, any file sharing between two parties, third party, it should have SFTP, which is Secure File Transfer Protocol, or HTTPS, and it should have stronger encryption algorithms. So key management, this is for key management. All passwords should be protected with AES-256 or hashed with SHA-512 and with salt. And this is the requirement for password encryption. It also uses bcrypt. Data in transit is encrypted on TLS 1.2 or TLS 1.3 minimum. Now, cryptographic algorithms and key strengths. So these are some of the algorithms defined. Now, key management process. So key management start with a key generation. So encryption, first we generate the keys with secure, random and unpredictable methods and approved by recognized organizations. Then key storage, once it's generated, we securely store it. So we have something called as hardware security modules or HSMs. Key distribution, so securely distribute the keys. Key access controls, key rotation and expiration. So we should set some expiry for the keys, examples 90 days or 120 days. Key backup and recovery. So in case of any loss, so we should also have some kind of backup for the encryption keys. And key destruction. So destruction as per the industry best practices. Key management documentation. So every employee should have this documentation on how we are managing all the keys. Key management roles and responsibilities in auditing and monitoring. So auditing and monitoring is for security officers. They should audit if all the key management best practices or guidelines are being followed by the teams. Now, encryption for the third party services and providers. So these are the requirements for, let's say, cloud providers. Encryption for mobile devices and remote devices. So to manage mobile devices, company may use mobile device management softwares. So mobile device encryption, remote access, secure communication channels, and mobile device management. So if there is a company data on mobile storage, then using such tools, we can erase or remotely wipe the company data if the mobile is stolen or lost. Okay. Now, this is on the mobile devices. Encryption for sensitive data. So for all PIIs and other sensitive data, we should first classify the data, then encryption requirements, access control. So all these are standard for sensitive data. Encryption for backups and archives. So this is backup encryption. We also have offsite backup encryption. All the copies of on-site and off-site backups, it should be encrypted. Backup key management and monitoring, then backup media handling and disposal. So that's on to backups. Encryption for emails and file transfers. We already discussed that we should use secure file transfer protocol or HTTPS. Email monitoring. Now we have some tools for data leakage prevention over email that we discuss afterwards. Okay, email and file transfer policies. And apart from that, we have encryption for cloud services and infra, cloud encryption, key management on cloud, cloud access controls, and that's it. For encryption for endpoint protection, all company laptops, we have something called as BitLocker. So BitLocker full disk encryption. So BitLocker is supported on Windows machines. So this should be enabled, and a recovery key of that BitLocker should be kept securely by the employee who is managing that asset, okay? Removal media encryption, endpoint device access control, endpoint device management. So we have some centralized endpoint device solutions. Like from Microsoft, we have Microsoft's SCCM or System Center Management Suite. So that we can use. Endpoint device hardening. So we have a baseline hardening applicable for all operating system. We can use that as a checklist and can harden all the company laptops and other assets. Now, encryption for development and testing environments. So these are the encryption policies for development and testing environment. So we are testing data masking and tokenization. So real-time data should not be used in lower environments. If we are using it, then we mask the data, okay? We hide the sensitive details from there. Encryption for remote access and VPNs. So VPN should be secure, and we use this algorithm minimum WPA2. So this is protocol, right? This is wireless protocol. For data in transit, we must use WPA2. So weaker algorithms should not be used. VPN authentication, it should have multi-factor authentication in place for remote access, okay? VPN monitoring and auditing, VPN access controls, configuration and hardening, and key management. So this is on to some kind of encryption or cryptographic policies for various items they are listed. Apart from their employee training and awareness, compliance and monitoring, all other items are generic for all policies. Okay. So that's it on to encryption policy. If you have any feedback, do let us know in comments. Thank you for watching this video.